I think the situation we have right now is the most perfect situation for the American people, and that is a Congress that doesn't have a speaker and can't act.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't agree with everything Luke says. I think oftentimes he gets things wrong. I think often even when he says something correct, he says it in such an indecipherably difficult to understand way that you can't make heads or tails of it. But I would agree with most of that. I'd be very happy if the government was less able to do any of the things.
But you agreed with that point.
I agree with that point. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. Yeah,
the problem is the House is the one branch of government right now that Republicans control. Then you're basically defanging the one thing right now that's doing oversight hearings on everything from COVID origins, where it just got released that the CIA was bribing analysts to change their analysis on origins, that they were chauffeuring Fauci around into these secret meetings on it. And all this is, and on the censorship side, there were so many things like the Jim Jordan subpoena to get all that. If you neuter the House, you sort of neuter the resistance to the federal agencies. So I'm more on the put Trump in there than shut it down thing.
I think the more likely scenario is that no one's going to be in there. And to the point that you brought up, I do wonder why the CIA was bribing analysts to cover up the origin of the sickness that we all had to deal with, that EcoHealth Alliance and their organization and other seedy parts of the government were involved in as well. I wonder why they were trying to cover up exactly what happened to the people of the world with that particular sickness that they had their fingerprints on.
I just want to mention something, Mike. I think it turned me around on this one. I agreed with Luke a moment ago, but I think I'm on Team Mike here. I would more or less say that your
a
position
very
makes more
political
sense.
answer. That's what a flip-flopping politician would do.
Look, I'm willing to change my mind based on new information. I think he made a good point. I hadn't considered it when you were speaking.
My role here is I'm the arms supply in the Ukraine-Russia war here, so just whoever can get the arms on their side to win it, I'm happy to do that. But as what Luke, you just said is really interesting about the relationship between EcoHealth Alliance, because you noted they were involved. I mean, it was more than involved. USAID paid them $53 million, and USAID has a very long history as being a conduit for CIA activity.
Oh yeah,
and there's a lot more on that particular thing.
So is a suggestion that Trump, as Speaker of the House, would be as ineffective on a lot of core issues?
It's more like if there's no speaker, then there's really no ability to have committees functioning in an effective way. And some of the pushback right now on the censorship space coming out of the Oversight Committee, Judiciary Weaponization, House Homeland Security, all of that is House driven, not Senate, not outside. Only they can really get access through subpoenas to some of the sensitive documents.
But people got to weigh the kind of decisions of what's happening here, because a lot of people are very critical of the House, saying specifically they gave Biden an unlimited budget. They're not investigating his family. They're not investigating Fauci. They're not doing what they're told. They're rolling over and allowing pure just pandemonium, allowing the Democrats to essentially have their way with them. And some people are arguing, okay, maybe we'll get some committees and some investigation, but is it worth an open border? Is it worth, the possibility of World War III? Is it worth, unlimited spending, destroying the U.S. economy from the inside? Is it worth it?
How is it that the Republicans win a majority and it doesn't change? It is the same thing as it was under Democrats. And that is why it was right for Matt Gaetz to remove Kevin McCarthy. At the very least, we get obstruction.
And if you remember when the Republicans won the House, that's the same exact point we made on this particular show, saying about this particular situation. Everyone was celebrating. Everyone's like, we did it. We got the Republicans in, not by as much as we wanted and thought, but we did it. And I'm like, this is going to be irrelevant. This is not going to matter. This is going to be politics as usual. And that's exactly what happened until Matt Gaetz got involved and said, you know what, I'm actually going to try to represent some of the will of the American people that are discontent and pissed off with Congress screwing them over.